guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lily and this is Lily in the Library. So today I wanted to share my most anticipated reads with you guys. I'm gonna try and keep these in order, but I actually don't have them written down in order. And this is only about the first 6 months, about until June. This is my first time doing any kind of anticipated reads, so I just have books on here that I either have read from the author before or the book premise sounds really exciting to me. I'm not really going to go into too much detail of the synopsis or premise of these books because I do have a little bit of a long list and I just want to kind of get through it for you guys to let you know what I'm looking forward to in 2025. So, one of the first books I have written down here is Homeseeking by Carissa Chen, and that comes out on January 7th. Now, thinking about it, I cannot even remember what this is about. I can't remember anything about this book, but for whatever reason, I'm excited about it. So I will put all of the titles here so that you can at least see the book that I'm talking about, because I'm apparently not going to be very helpful in telling you why I'm excited about them or what they are about, even in the slightest a bit. Then we have Beautiful Ugly by Alex Feeney, which is a thriller. I have never read Alex Feeney before, so I don't really know what to expect, but I have heard great things. I made a mistake in not getting it for my Book of the Month book, but here we are. I will just wait for the audio book from my library to come out, and I'm sure I'll have a great time. And that comes out on January 14th. Now, on January 28th, we have The Crash by Frida McFadden. I know Frida McFadden is kind of a controversial author. I have enjoyed quite a few of her books in the past. Last year, I read The Boyfriend, The Husband's or The Wife's Husband's Secret Lie, The Gift. I think I read 3 from her last year. And I really enjoyed the writing. I enjoyed my time. I thought they were great, suspenseful, some were funny. So I'm looking forward to this one as well. And then on January 14th, Water Moon by Samantha Soto Yambao comes out. And I am so excited about this. I think and hope it is going to be the Illumicrate January book, because I really want a special edition of this book. I have probably the highest hopes for this one simply because it is tagged as you can come to this place, to this shop, to sell your regrets. And that is an amazing premise for a book. And I just want to see where we're going to go with that. Like, that is exciting to me. Also on January 14th, Hamajang Luck by Makana Yamamoto comes out. And I do already have a copy of this one, so I'm hopefully going to be able to read this month. I do have quite a few projects that I want to get to that I will be discussing later on. The edition of the book that I have is beautiful. It was the December Illumicrate book. And I'm just excited about the Hawaiian culture representation. I read just a little bit, like a little sneaky peek, and so far I think I'm going to enjoy it. My only hesitation is that it is sci-fi, and I'm hit or miss with sci-fi, but I do have really high hopes for this one. Then we have Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. Now, I've never read anything by Grady Hendrix, but this sounds like an interesting premise, and it also takes place in Florida, which is right up my alley. I love reading books that take place either in Florida or Hawaii or South Carolina, places that I have lived or visited. So I'm really excited about this. It's about, I think, like young girls in the 60s or 70s that are kind of like troubled or, loose or whatever. Like, they're pregnant, they have issues. So they come here and kind of like are hidden from the world, and obviously something really messed up is going to happen. So I can't wait. And then on January 28th, Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young comes out. I read Set the Record Straight by her, and I also have, I think, Out on a Limb that I need to get to. But I loved Set the Record Straight so much that I will buy all of her books, even if I haven't read them, because I can't imagine the writing is going to be bad. I think this one is either following the same characters or it's in like the same world as the ones from Out on a Limb. So I don't even really know what it's about again, but I'm excited for it. And then January 14th, we have Last Room on the Left by Leah Conan. I think this is a thriller of some sorts. I don't really remember much about it. I really don't remember anything about it, but I'm excited for it. Ooh, then we have At the Bottom of the Garden by Camilla Bruce, and that comes out January 28th. And this one I have heard is like this, I don't know if she's like a serial killer or what's going on, but this woman has like some bodies buried in her garden, and then she gets custody or ends up raising these girls who have supernatural powers, and one of them can see the dead people. It just sounds great. I don't know what else to say. Then we have Wake Up and Open Your Eyes by Clay McLeod Chapman, and that comes out on January 7th. So it's already come out by the time I'm filming this. I think I already put a request into my library. I'm just curious about it. I think it's something with zombies, so I don't have like the highest of hopes for it, but it sounds pretty interesting, so I do want to give it a try. I am kind of excited about it. Then in February, We All Live Here by Jojo Moyes comes out on the 11th. And I really enjoyed Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. I have a few other books from her that I want to get read that I think I've started one of them. And I just enjoy her writing, so I don't mind picking up her books, even though I've only read one book from her and part of another book. I enjoy her writing. So I am excited to see this one. I forget what it's about, but it's Jojo Moyes, so I'm excited to read it. Then we have Famous Last Words by Gillian McAllister coming out on February 25th. And I think this is the one where her husband, like there's a hostage situation and her husband is the one holding the hostages. I don't know. That just sounds really interesting to me, like a great premise for a book, and I am just curious how she's going to execute this. So I'm really excited for that one. And then there is Blackwoods Blue Sky by Aowen Ivy. I think that's how the name is pronounced. I'm not sure. And that comes out on February 11th. And again, this is another one that I read into the synopsis, but it hasn't stuck with me. So I'm not even sure what genre this is, but I'm excited about it because I wrote it down. Ooh, and then on February 4th, we have Listen to Your Sister by Nina Vale. And this one sounds really interesting. It is, I believe, a thriller or a horror. And I can't recall exactly what the premise is about, but I remember in the moment thinking it was really interesting and I definitely want to read it. And then on February 25th, there is Something in the Walls by Daisy Pierce. And I think this one is like she either thinks she's a witch or she isn't a witch, or there's something about a witch and a doctor, a therapist who she can't get a job. And so she ends up doing something with the witch or this girl who thinks she's a witch. I don't really remember what exactly is going on. I just remember looking at the cover of this book and thinking that looks like a good cover. It must be a good book. You guys, I am terrible. I do judge books by their covers. Like I try not to judge them in a negative way, but I am so bad about seeing a cover thinking it's cool or cute or whatever and just wanting to read it and pick it up and buy it. And it doesn't always work out. This is not, I don't recommend this. This is not a great way to, decide if this is going to be a good book, but sometimes it does work out. And so I'm really hoping this is going to be one of those times because this cover, I don't know, it really speaks to me. Okay, and then February 4th is A Killing Cold by Kate Ellis Marshall. I do have this one on the way. It is coming for Book of the Month because it was a January pick. Now, I just finished a Kate Ellis Marshall and I gave it 4 stars. I loved it. I have read from her in the past and not loved it. I read Something in the Woods, I'll put it up here really quick. I didn't hate it, but I did not love it. Like I was curious through the whole way, and I think Kate Ellis Marshall has a specific way of writing that really does hook you in, and I just think based off of the 2 books that I've read from her, and I do have some other things in her backlist that I want to read, I'm just thinking that the way she does her endings sometimes are what is going to trip me up personally, because I'm not like in the what lies in the woods or whatever the hell that book was called. In that one, the ending, it's like you could have dispersed throughout at least the latter half of the book, what was happening, like the mysteries, the story, the, reveals and stuff. But instead, it was like all waited until this clump at the end. And I just felt like that wasn't a great way to end the book. And it really took away from my enjoyment in the end. Whereas No One Can Know, which I just read, which I didn't realize was a 2024 release, but here we are. The way she did that one, now there were still things that weren't revealed until the very end, but there was more happening throughout the story. Like we were getting more chunks of information that made the reveals a little bit more natural and a little bit more believable, in my opinion. So I am excited for this new book that she's going to be releasing this year. And I'm hoping that I'm going to love it just as much, if not more, than I enjoyed No One Can Know. Then, moving on to March, we have Wild Dark Shores by Charlotte McConaughey that comes out on March 4th. This one, I just remember that I think they're on an island and a woman washes ashore and they have like no information about her, and it's just there's like some kind of mystery going on. I have not read anything from this author before, but the premise of this really did intrigue me. Also, again, sucker for a cover. Yeah, so I am looking forward to give this one a try. Then we have This Book Will Bury Me by Ashley Winstead coming out on March 25th. And this is another one that the book really, like the cover of the book that's been released has really like gripped me. I don't fully remember what this is about. I think it's based off of a true, like some kind of true crime stuff. I don't exactly remember. And that's something else too. I probably should have prefaced this by saying I oftentimes go into books without reading the synopsis or reading as little as I can just so that I can figure out if this is going to be for me or not, because I don't want to spoil anything for myself. I don't want to have any inclination or idea where the story is going. I just want to let it unfold as I'm reading it. So this is one of those that it's like I saw it was a thriller. I read just a little blurb about it and that was enough for me to be like, okay, yes, that's going to be on the list. I'm ready to read that. Now, I haven't read anything by Ashley Winstead yet, but I do have quite a few of her backlists on my TBR personally, and I'm hoping that this is the year I'm going to be reading more from her. Then on March 4th, we have The Dream Hotel by Layla Lalami. Again, this one I don't really remember what the synopsis is, but something about it really spoke to me. I think I'm pretty sure it has something to do with dreams. I don't really remember, but it either that or the cover must have spoke to me and I put it on my list. And then I also heard about When the Moon Hits Your Eye by John Scalzi coming out on March 25th, and this is about the moon turning into cheese. I read nothing else. The moon's gonna turn into cheese. Okay, I need to read this book. There's just no, what am I supposed to do with that information other than read this book? And then we are going to move on to April with Julie Chan is Dead by Lian Zhang, and that comes out April 29th. I'm pretty sure this is a thriller. Don't remember what it was about. Thought it was funny because I thought it was Julie Chen at first, and then I had to really read, and I was like, no, that says Julie Chan. If you don't know, I love Big Brother, and Julie Chen Moonves is the host of Big Brother and has been since its inception. So I don't listen. I'm making a correlation where there isn't one, but just let me have it, okay? For some reason, I wanted to put this book on my list. So here we are. Also coming out on April 29th, we have Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zhang, and that is by Kylie Lee Baker. And I believe this is about the prejudice and racism that we saw towards Asians during the coronavirus. And I am interested because, as someone who is of Japanese descent and also Hawaiian, I have. So, growing up in an area that was, in an area and in a time that was not kind to Asian people to begin with, this racism has never been shocking to me. Like, I grew up being called China doll, China girl, Ching Chong, like anything you can think. And I'm not even Chinese, so we can start there. Yeah. So I'm interested to see. I do like reading stuff about that just to see like how other people experience it and deal with it. And yeah, I'm just hoping I'm not going to be too mad by the end of the book. Then we have My Best Friend's Honeymoon by Mara Wilsner. And I think this is Friends to Lovers. Like, I believe that, I also believe it's Sapphic. I don't really remember. But I believe that the bride decides not to get married and then takes her best friend on her honeymoon instead, if this is the book that I'm thinking about. That was all I needed to know because I love anything to do with friends to lovers, childhood friends to lovers. Sign me up for it. And this one also comes out on the 29th of April. And then we have Fair Play by Louise Hegarty coming out on April 3rd. And this one just seemed kind of interesting. I think it's marketed as like kind of a Knives Out situation. I think it's like a locked room, or what is it called? Like one situation, and there's a murder and a mystery and all that jazz. Also, the cover is cool looking. Again, I'm a sucker for cool covers. I'm a sucker for mysteries and thrillers, so this just seemed like it was right up my alley. Then coming into May, on May 6th, we have The Names by Florence Knapp. And again, this is another one. I don't remember why this is on my list, but it's there, so I must have been excited about it in the moment. And then My Friends by Frederick Bachman. I am interested in reading more from him because I've read some novellas from him and just like really short stories, and I haven't read anything longer. Kind of a little bit afraid of the emotions I'm going to experience if I read his novels. But I am excited for this one. This one just it piqued my interest. I believe it's about like childhood friends and stuff. So I was really interested and I'm excited to read this one. Then we have The Memory Collectors by Deet Meserve. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. That comes out on May 20th. This is another one that I don't really remember. The name sounds interesting, The Memory Collectors. So I think it's something, I'm pretty sure it has something to do with memory. Um, I think it was like a sci-fi or something like that. Again, I don't really remember what this one is about, but obviously in the moment I was very interested by the synopsis, and so I wrote it down. And then we have The Bachelorette Party by Camilla Sten coming out June 10th. And this is a thriller. I believe they're on an island and something is going on with the bridal party. I think somebody is killing some. I don't exactly remember this one. I just remember this is happening like right before their wedding, and it's an isolated setting, and it sounded really exciting to me. Then on June 24th, we have Don't Let Him In by Lisa Jewell. Again, I don't really remember what this one was about, but I am excited because it's Lisa Jewell. And then the last book I have on my anticipated list is 8114 by Joshua Hull, and that one actually comes out August 26th. This one I remember, I think it's a horror, and it's something about like this it's has something to do with like an apartment or a house or something where this guy used to live or does live, or something's going on in this home. And yeah, again, the cover really got me, and whatever I read on the premise must have been enough to push me right on over the edge to want to read this one, because here it is. So those are all my most anticipated reads coming up for the next few months. I would love to know if you guys have heard of any of these, if you're looking forward to any of these. If you've read an advanced copy, what your thoughts are, and also any books that you're looking forward to. Is there anything you think that I should be on the lookout for, that I should especially read, that I would really like? I would love to read your thoughts in the comments below. That's all I have for you today, guys. If you haven't subscribed yet, please continue subscribing for more content from me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.